Pope John, and welcome to The Roar. Today is Tuesday, September 10th.
Tomorrow, September 11th, is the 12th anniversary of the infamous terror attacks on U.S. soil. We dedicate this episode of The Roar to the victims of 9/11 and the fight for freedom across the world.
This summer, Pope John participated in the One Book, One School program. We now turn to our literary correspondent, Becca Proctor, for her take on this unifying and heartwarming story.
Thanks, Allison. The entire Pope John community was encouraged to read The Day the World Came to Town. Selected by Mrs. Ochaconi, it focused on the events of 9/11 that we don't typically hear about. All planes remaining in the air needed to land immediately, and the passengers cared for. The book walks us through all of the emotions felt during this time, like terror, anger, sadness, but most importantly, hope. The behavior shown by the citizens in Gander and elsewhere had them opening their doors and hearts to strangers. They provided food and showers, and most importantly, a sense of hope that there was still good in the world. Thank you, Mrs. Ochaconi, for giving us this opportunity to develop a new perspective on this tragic time. Those kind and generous people of Canada were wonderful examples of the love and compassion that we should apply here at Pope John. Thanks again, Mrs. Ochaconi, for your recommendation.
You're so right, Becca. Thanks for your insight. It was truly an interesting perspective on the 9/11 attacks that showcased the human spirit.
When remembering 9/11, we must always continue the fight for freedom under tyranny. Talking about tyranny, Morgan, I hear you have prepared a segment about events in Syria.
It's so intense, Allie. There's a brutal civil war raging in Syria, with the death toll way over 100,000 and at least 7 million displaced refugees. The civil conflict is of international concern. After Syrian President Bashar al-Assad used chemical weapons on his own people, the world began to notice. U.S. President Obama supports military intervention, but Americans are completely divided on the issue. Currently, Obama is waiting for approval from Congress. Pope Francis, however, strongly opposes military intervention. Over the weekend, he was quoted saying, "War begets war, and violence begets violence."
You know, Morgan, even in our own country, the meaning of freedom is still being disputed, as one might tell from a recent topic in Massachusetts.
The Massachusetts Supreme Court is hearing a case that challenges the place of the words "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance.
The plaintiffs, a non-religious family that attends public school, say that the use of the words "under God" violates the Equal Rights Amendment of the Massachusetts Constitution. The ERA provides that all people are born free and equal, and that equality cannot be restricted based on sex, race, color, creed, or national origin. The words in question were added in 1954.
While the pledge is recited at the start of every day in public schools, it is illegal to force someone to recite the pledge. However, opponents of the pledge say that school children are coerced to say the entire pledge by branding atheists as unpatriotic and creating a stigma among the students.
Similar court cases, including a Supreme Court case, have all been defeated. The court will release its decision in about 5 months.
That's it for us at The Roar. Remember, PJ, even though it was 12 years ago tomorrow, let's continue to reflect and keep all those affected by the terrorist attacks in our prayers.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
If you're lost in a fall, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on, May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground, and carry on, carry on, carry on. So I met up with some friends at the edge of the night, at a bar of 75.